What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So, who's taking the money? What money are we talking about? I'm talking about the $4.5 billion worth of short liquidations that are currently stacked above Bitcoin. It's been a mad day today, ladies and gentlemen. Treachery across the board in terms of the markets. We saw a little bit of flavor earlier on in the New York live stream, and we were waiting for that VWAP to get taken, and they tapped that bad boy and then shifted back up to the upside. This is the power of the VWAP. The volume-weighted average price tells us that that is where most of the liquidity or transactions volume is going to play out, okay? They hold that zone, man, they're going to start moving price aggressively away from it. So we're going to be diving into that. More importantly, we're going to be having a look at a few altcoins this evening because everything seems to be moving up. All right, so we need to be paying close attention to any altcoins that are getting ready to base out and move even higher. So I'll be doing that very, very shortly. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, not much news has hit the marketplace. We had word that there could be a problem with mortgages and defaults on corporate properties or the basket of assets that they're picking up, because coming into 2023, there's going to be a maturity date on these mortgages, which might be a bit of a problem for the marketplace. Are we going to go into another 2007, 2008 subprime mortgage crisis? Who knows? But right now, everything is pulling up, and we need to be focusing on what the next levels are. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring you some flavor. Here we go. All right, then. So, Bitcoin. Firstly, let's go back to today's live stream. This VWAP down here. Oh, my days. This is what I wanted. I wanted Bitcoin to come and test the VWAP. Why? Because then that will give us the better view of what they're likely to do next. Okay? Then what happens? They break it down, smack that VWAP right there. As you can see, they come and tested the VWAP where the delta, which is these big red bubbles, suggests to us that that's where they were trapping retail traders to go short. They instantly reversed it, and now we got some flavor. 1,166 Bitcoin stacked at 30,400. So we really need to understand what's going on in this area. Are we going to start seeing some more flavor to the upside in Asia? Because today has been a terrible day for the markets in the sense where they've just marked price down. But look at this. Notice the 50 EMA, the cloud, they're hugging that 50, shifting out to the upside, getting above the psychological high. But we've got to be very, very careful with this range. What we're looking for is we want Bitcoin to make a clean break of the 30,000, ideally the 30,500. What's up there? So this is the liquidity I'm talking about. This is the money that they're going to probably try and take. 31,300, all right? $4.7 billion worth of short liquidations stacked inside of that zone, all right? So we really need to be focusing on what they could actually be doing later on tonight. So check this out. Bitcoin right now on the 15-minute has broken above the psychological high. Anything in this area here, because naturally most of you will be looking at this thinking, but what if there's an M formation right now, Tino? That is true. But we had the M formation earlier on in the live stream, which was up here, and it was only a small M formation, okay? And then they came down, tapped the 50 EMA, which happened to be the VWAP, and then shifted back up to the upside, all right? This is a critical point for Bitcoin. So 31,300, zoom out, go to the 4-hour time frame. Where does that take us? 31,300 puts us in this area right here. Let me just mark it off for you. Happy days. Look left. What have we got? Oh, wow. Remember what we were saying, guys. We want Bitcoin to effectively attack this area right here. But if they don't attack it with conviction, the same area that they'll move to is the same thing that they'll do once they get back to that area. In other words, they will sell off from this area right here. So the idea is that these liquidation points right here, people are fighting with the idea that Bitcoin has to come down. Is it starting to work its way down? No, we haven't actually seen a clean breakdown lower. Look at the 50 EMA right here. This is on the 4-hour time frame, okay? Look left. You got a vector candle region up there. Mark that off on your charts. 30,804, okay? If we work our way towards that area, guys, we just need to look up and have a look at where the liquidity sits in terms of liquidation levels. Can we justify price going there? Well, look at this. Up here, they narrowly missed 328 million, or actually, have they taken it? 4,000? No, they haven't actually taken, no, they have. Have they taken it? 4,000? No, yes, they've eaten that liquidity. 30,469. Okay, so they took that liquidity right there. That's $328 million worth of short liquidations. Have you noticed in this area, see how the clusters of the blues, this is where there's high margin in this area, all right? So that's telling us that there is a lot of liquidity there. And that happens to be just shy of that 31,500 zone, okay? Down here, you can see, look, there's more longs. Well, actually, there's an even distribution here. We've got 276 shorts and 228 longs, okay? And in terms of liquidation. So we've got more short liquidations than we do have longs, all right? If Bitcoin can sustain this area right here, we're going towards that zone, okay? The first vector that they'd need to break is that 30,800. And then they will flush out. Because what does the market maker do? He likes to build his shorts and his longs above and below. So here's an example. Take this. This is the 30,000 zone, for example, right? If you're a market maker, you're going to move price up, stay above that area, stop hunt rise, rip to the downside. Because people are trying to load up on longs. At the same time, traders are trying to go short. So what does market maker do? He makes a retail trader who went short in the belief that it's not going to go up. So he commits them there. He makes price go down. He instantly reverses to shake those retail traders short out, make them go long. So he's adding liquidity here, and this is all above the key 30,000 zone. Likewise, if he's going to do it, he's going to do the same thing again for the longs, okay? What he'll do, he'll build his positions below here, because this is, imagine the 30,000. He'll make the retail trader believe that this is the point to go short. He'll make that happen. He'll bring price down, make them go short, hit their liquidations, and then shift price to the upside. That's in essence what we're looking at right here. So we look at the key 30,000 zone right there. They're coming away from that zone. So it looks like traders were short on Bitcoin. They're now getting and paying the price. We've got the levels that we want to see, and that's 31,300 would be the ideal spot for Bitcoin, all right? That's what we mean by they're going to take the money, all right? As long as Bitcoin stays and holds above the 15-minute 50 EMA, as long as it stays above this area here, we are good because they're coming away from the psychological ranges. But be mindful. Last time they come towards this area, they sold off from it. So if Bitcoin can hold, which they did do, look, they sold off from this zone. Now they've come back up to it again. So we're now waiting to see, can they hold out and get ready to shift out and eat that 31,300? That's what we want from Bitcoin, okay? Now let's just go over to the other assets before I start looking at the altcoins, all right? We've got Euro right here. Euro it's been wild today. We had a good time in the Discord, running the shorts to the downside, then they instantly reversed it back up and they're holding around the psychological low. Quite frankly, tomorrow, guys, we don't even have any news announcements that's really going to move the marketplace. So we might actually get the same flavor today. We'll get the open in the New York session. They'll move price up or down and then probably stalemate across the board up until Thursday, where we've got unemployment claims, Philly Fed, existing home sales, and then good old FOMC Waller. Now, Waller is deemed as one of the most hawkish guys in the Federal Reserve. And he's going to be like, yep, let's keep increasing interest rates. Don't worry, it's all going to be fine. The banking crisis is now behind us. So everyone's now all pumped about everything moving up. All right. But they tell us to sell the rallies. Now check this out. This is what I was talking about. This guy right here. Billionaire investor Howard Marks sounds the alarm on commercial real estate. So he's talking that there's going to be a problem with mortgage defaults. And what he's making reference to is this area here. Nearly $450 billion worth of commercial real estate debt is due to mature in 2023. So we've now got a different interest rate. Okay, at the start of the year, corporate debt was refinanced. Okay, now we're going to be going into a maturity of these real estate mortgages. And they're now going to end up paying a higher price. The people that win is the banks, okay? But that's what this guy is suggesting. So, for any of my guys who trade stocks and what have you, here is a list of all the mortgage brokers that are listed on the US stock market, okay? Now, if there is any inkling that people are going to miss mortgages or commercial businesses are going to miss their mortgage payments, these lenders right here are probably going to end up rolling over. So if we just have a look at the actual chart itself, all right, and I've got something for you about that applied digital. So here's one. So let me just move that. So RDN, check this out. RDN, Radian Group. Okay, so what these guys do, finance and mortgage, you can see they're doing pretty well, $23 a share, all right? And they're holding up during the current climate, all right? But if they do have any word about people missing mortgage payments and there's defaults, then it's all going to be based on what this company's exposure is. This company has 40% debt. So if I bring that over here, you can see that 40% debt. So these guys probably might get smacked up a little bit with these high interest rates. So any changes in the interest rates are going to be welcomed, and that is to the downside. So we've got to be careful about Waller speaking on Thursday. One more, we're going to have a look at MTG. Here we go, MTG. Right there, same story, good, big, decent market cap, climbing up, $14 a share as a mortgage provider. Now listen, if interest rates go down, these guys are winning, because then people are going to be servicing these mortgages. They're going to be able to afford it, and it's going to be much more appealing for them to get hold of mortgages. Why? Because the rates will be coming down. Now, once the Federal Reserve does a fiscal policy change, that's going to be welcomed by the market. Usually when the Fed pivots, things like to drop, which is a great opportunity to pick up after they've settled after that drop to the downside, all right? But mortgage companies, once interest rates look like they're at a terminal rate, you can anticipate that these bad boys right here are going to probably start climbing up, all right? As long as we don't get any defaults, that's the thing. Now, in yesterday's video, I think it was Friday's, we were talking about Applied Digital. Another $1 million worth of shares were brought by Applied Digital today by one of the CEOs. This is the second transaction. Now, this company, is a next generation data center which provides computer power to blockchain infrastructure, in essence, supports Bitcoin mining. All right? Why is he picking up right now? Now, this is a cryptocurrency stock, all right? Deals with mining, happy days. Put two and two together. You don't want to buy Bitcoin. You could buy or invest in a company like this that supports the mining of Bitcoin, all right? Cool. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go over to this. HSBC. Again, we're going into blockchain stocks. Incredible AI pricing power. Me personally, I think NVIDIA has not hit its peak. All right, check this out. NVIDIA is due to smash out. That's what I believe, because everyone's in with the AI story right now, okay? And when you've got a trending, this ain't a meme coin, all right? There is genuine utility behind what NVIDIA can do and what it can provide, all right? And HSBC is suggesting that they haven't even priced in. It's not even priced in their true value. Going into it, they're expecting a 41% increase on their earnings per share going into 2025. That is huge. They do have a lot of debt. 44%, but then they also put 27% into research and development. These are critical things to be mindful of, because once interest rates start to come down, this company ain't going to have that much exposure to debt or have to service that many loans. It's going to be good on their cash flow. They're going to be able to then show more of a profit, and that's going to be great for the shareholders. $276, this bad boy's near enough close to being the same price as Goldman Sachs. And you know how long Goldman Sachs has been going off. Okay, even if you look at the monthly, look at it. It's just not stopped going up. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. All right, keep an eye on this bad boy. I'd like to call this like the Amazon of AI. You know how it is. Anyways, let's roll over back into the charts, ladies and gentlemen. I said I was going to keep it short and sweet on the news. But yes, we have got this Mr. Burns right here trying to blame the SEC for the the lack of regulation with cryptocurrency, but it doesn't even look like it's affecting cryptocurrency. They've fined Kraken. They've done all sorts with Binance. Now you got good old Armstrong. He's trying to effectively set up Coinbase overseas and effectively going to lead all other crypto companies to do the same thing. So they're going to have to step up the pad if they want to start regulating crypto, because they might just miss the boat. Anyways, moving on to other assets across the board. Let's just go over to the S&P for a split second, because we know that with Bitcoin, when that bad boy goes up, we know that the S&P is going to keep following, or should I say the other way round. But it's been a tricky day. Look at this, man. It's been a horrible day for the S&P, spiky around this zone. Now, I'm looking at these vector candle regions right here as a potential zone for S&P to start coming back into in tonight's Asian session. All right, so be mindful. There's been a lot of compression happening inside of this zone. Going into my guys who trade NASDAQ, same story with NASDAQ. Big stop hunt rise, drop to the downside. Yippee-ki-yay, they hit the daily open. Now they've stabilized in that zone. They could be waiting for price for Thursday's data. So tomorrow might just probably be the same thing. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now, let's get with it. First things first, when we're breaking down altcoins. All right. We'll go into Ethereum. Where we at? Here we go. So Ethereum right now, not doing too bad. Trading within the psychological range. Part and parcel of this system is it gives you a heads up on where you could anticipate movement from. So we know the psychological range takes the first high and the first low at the start of a trading week, all right? And that sets the spread. So this is where market maker manipulates price, all right? Notice two instances on Ethereum. His mark price here and his mark price here, all right? And it's all happening around the key $2,000 mark. Well, just above 2,100 zone. That's where they're really manipulating price, okay? As long as Ethereum stays within this zone, we are in what would be called the consolidation or the developing of a move. Because if they're not breaking lower, that's good news. If they're aggressively moving up and coming back down again, it's suggesting that they could be getting ready for yet another move back up to spike and hit some liquidity to the upside, all right? 2,140, that could be a possibility. We look back on the charts and we see where Ethereum is at right now. It's holding above that 50 EMA cloud. I'm not seeing that much selling pressure on Ethereum. They've come back down to the green vector candle region right here, which would suggest a green vector candle continuation zone. So that's where you see the pattern coming into play. Rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. All right. You want me to check out LINQ? Happy days. Let's check out LINQ for you then. Right. I'm going to start diving into the altcoins, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we're going to see what the story is there. So first things first, before we even dive into Chainlink, all right, we need to go over to the totals chart. I always do this when we're looking at altcoins, all right? This is just altcoins. Now, what you see here is most of the altcoins are trending upwards. They're trading away from the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, okay? If you trade a specific time frame, use this total market cap chart and make reference to the 50 EMA on the time frame that you are trading on. So if you're trading off the 1-hour time frame, okay, look at where assets are in relation to the 1-hour 50 EMA, okay? So that will bring us into Chainlink. Let's have a look at that. Where we got? There we are, Chainlink. Here we go. So we've had a nice aggressive move to the upside. Happy days. Lots of vectors down here that could be recovered. And the thing is, right, you'll see a vector candle on Bitcoin and you'll say to yourself, well, how likely is price going to recover that point? Remember, it takes more money for Bitcoin to move than Chainlink or another asset or like, you know, Phantom Coin or Fetch or MATIC. It's going to take more liquidity to move Bitcoin, but those altcoins, it's not going to require much. That's why altcoins are so volatile, all right? That's why I suggest anytime you see a fast move away from a moving average, take your money out of the altcoin, try and sell as it's going in your favor because they're going to pull it back, all right? It's a fast play. And when someone releases a lot of liquidity from an altcoin, the altcoin reacts aggressively and snaps back down again, okay? So Chainlink as a prime example, we're looking for the 50 EMA, okay? That's what we're looking for. Because by the time they come back down to this 50 EMA right here, okay, they would have recovered most of the vector candles here and in essence trigger the idea that they're going to try and continue even higher from this point. So this is where you formulate a pattern. You see the 50 EMA zone right here. You then say, okay, we've had an aggressive move up, rise, hit the retrace back down, wait for that to happen, continuation to the upside, okay? We're looking back on Chainlink and we're saying to ourselves, okay, $9 for the range weekly high could be a promise if Bitcoin sustains this move to the upside. It looks like everything's going to keep on moving up. But the issue that I've got is they're selling into the rallies. So you've got to be very careful. Take whatever profit you can on any position that you open, okay? Let me pull up some more altcoins. What are you guys talking about? Solana. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at Solana. Where are we at with that? Solana. Right. So again, 1 hour time frame. If I'm trading Solana on the 1 hour time frame, what do I need to be aware of? Well, I know most altcoins on the 1 hour time frame are sat at the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. Right now, Solana is flat. It's jumping in between. There's no consistency. It's a bit choppy, so you want to be careful when you're trading Solana. It's trading away from the psychological high zone right here, which is important. We've also got these vector candles down here, so do not shy away from these bad boys, all right? All we're looking for, guys, is momentum. We want movement. Me, personally, I'm not interested in a specific price. I've highlighted Bitcoin's specific price because that's where $4.5 billion worth of short liquidations is. But that's just to tell you what the story is. And right now, it's actually, 4.7. They've actually closed off some of those shorts. It was at 4.775. Now it's at 4.712. All right? So they're probably taking some liquidity off. Okay? Now, listen, Solana right now is currently trading at this high point. We've got this $25 zone, so we've got to be careful right now. And it's trading below the 50 EMA line. So if you look closely, you can see below that 50, that blue line right there, that's what you're focusing on. And if it comes away from that point and trades in the lower band of the 50 EMA, then they're more than likely going to want to try and come back down towards the range daily low and hit this area to test and trigger the same traders that went short in that zone for Mr. Market Maker to try and reverse price back up and take advantage of traders' liquidations. Because look at where they turned from. They turned from the vector candle point that they recovered and then shifted back down again. Okay? Let's have a look at another coin. So we've got BAT USDT, basic attention token. About right for my attention. Again, pretty much the same story as Solana. Got a violet vector candle right here that we would need to see it come back into. But just look at the profile of the way they're moving price. Look at it. Zoom out. Can you see what they're doing? They're not gaining ground. All they're doing is just spiking up. Spike, spike, spike. But don't dismiss this bad boy zone right here. 31 cents. That'll be very interesting because something is brewing up here. There are guys trapped up here. They're either going to want to break even or they're going to want to run shorts from that point. So market maker in principle should be wanting to send price towards that zone. It might not happen overnight, but they're going to work that area at some point. So just be mindful of that. Let's have a look at some other altcoins that I've got here. Let's just go over to MATIC again. MATIC, same story as Solana. They're consolidating. So you've now start to understand the power of that market cap. You can see that most altcoins are trading above the 50 EMA, but now we've got these altcoins that ain't really doing much. They're consolidating. So you might want to pass on these altcoins and look for altcoins that are either extended away from the 50. That's what I want. I want altcoins that are extended away from the 50 EMA. The only way I'm going to find that out is if I pull up the altcoin boss list and then look at the biggest movers. We've got CTSI. Look at this bad boy right here. Yeah, look at that. That is nuts. Vector candle recovery of the wick right there on the 1 hour time frame. This bad boy hasn't stopped moving up. Okay? And this is what I mean. Take your money. Now you would be, in essence, at a point where you'd want to sell this stock or asset, this coin, all right? Because they've made 2 attempts to this area here, fully recovered that zone. What do you think's next? You're expecting a retrace. Now, the retrace might not be short-lived, okay? You look at this one. It's come all the way down to tap the 50 EMA. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for it to hit that 50 EMA zone right there. That's what you're looking for, to see if they can actually try and go back up again. That's what we're looking for. Another one, super. Look at this bad boy, man. Crazy ass moves to the upside. Now we've got wicks that we really want to see. So we take the logic of what happened with this one right here. Okay? We then go to super and we say, well, what's to say that they're not going to do the same again? All right? This is what you've got to be mindful of. Beta, spiky, choppy, vector wick recovery. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got an altcoin that's got a wick like this nearby, yeah? And they base out, they're getting ready to come back into it. Because there are traders here. There are people that are buying at this point. Look, 11.5 cents. Cheap as chips. But people are buying at that point. They're only going to go there again because the guys who are getting longs in here are selling them up here. Again, that's why we want the retraces. We've got to be very cautious of retraces. Now, what else have we got? FTM. Let's have a look at Phantom. USDT. Here we go. Climbing up, very slow, choppy, don't like it. Holding above the 50 EMA zone, so that's very important. Got that green vector wick, well, green vector and the blue vector wick right there. Be very careful of that. And be very mindful of this vector candle zone right here. They've tried to hold out, but they're trading above the cloud of the 50 EMA, so just be on alert with this because it could actually roll over. It's all going to be on Bitcoin's flavor. What else we got? We got ICP right now. Again, another wick. The logic would suggest that we're getting ready to see price recover this wick right here. It could be a fast move back up, so just be careful, okay? And we've traded away from the 50 EMA, which is good news for us, but we might have ourselves a vector candle continuation zone right here. Look at this. That could be the case. So they could actually start mark up, retrace, continuation up, but we are at the range weekly high. So expect some profit taking to happen in this area. What else have we got? Mana. Have I got Mana in here? No, I'm going to go through THETA. I'm just going to work at other coins. Look at that. THETA is climbing up nicely. Okay, then. So this is what you want. These are the sort of altcoins you want. You want the ones that aren't so choppy, but they got nice price action trending high, working its way back up. 4-hour time frame. Look left, where we at? See, we've got any vector candle regions right there. There we are. We marked off our zones. It's on its way towards that vector point, ladies and gentlemen. If the strength continues and sustains itself, and as an altcoin, you're naturally going to be expecting it to continue with that flavor. All right, what else have we got? Let me just move this over here so you guys can see the chart clearly. All right, okay, GALA. Let's have a look at GALA coin. Again, spike up, come back down, vector candle wick recovery. So we got to be careful. Red vector candle, so we could actually see it actually moving up higher. We just go into the Bookmap a second. Is Bitcoin doing anything right now? 1,086 Bitcoin orders, bang! Nice little flavor right there, 30,450. I would expect Bitcoin to climb up and hit that liquidity. We've just had a reset of the VWAP anyway, so that's good news. We've got commitment coming in. We've got 30,600. We've got 237 Bitcoin orders right there, but we've got a stack. Look at that. Whoa, nice little order coming in. All right, big red order right there. As long as it sustains itself and stays there, then we expect Bitcoin to keep on climbing up from this point. And the book is imbalanced to minus 20% now. It's changed, suggesting that limit sales are being absorbed. So that means price is going up. All right, then let's have a look at another altcoin. What else you got? JASME coin. Let's have a look at that. JASME. This bad boy right here. Here we go. So again, above the 50 EMA, stopping volume candles right here. You can see that they're getting this profile of behavior where they're going to start trying to come back down, and you expect them to hold in this zone. If they don't hold this zone, it's the M formation getting ready to rip price back down to test the 800 EMA. All right. But remember, just be mindful of the 50 EMA cloud right there. As long as they stay above and within that 50 EMA cloud on the 4-hour, then you're suggesting that price is likely to continue back up. Okay. Remember, take the time frame that you're trading from and use this principle. Okay, what else we got? Let's have a look at Ava. What do you want me to say to you? Guess what's going to happen next, ladies and gentlemen? They've wicked it once, they'll wick it again, and then they'll try and wick this bad boy right here. When you see coins like this doing this, it can be very treacherous, all right? So just keep your leverage low because you don't want to get shaken out with this flavor. What else we got? HBAR. I'm just going to have a look at the chat. USDT, here we go. Hedra. All right, cool. 0.06, not really seeing much flavor. We've got ourselves principally, we've got this structure right here where we would say, okay, W formation, rise up, retrace. This area here is where we would be expecting them to lock the W formation, or they lock the peak. This is the peak of price, all right? This is the peak of price. We would expect them to lock the peak, and that's where they lock it, which is the second part of the M formation. And then they drop it back down. Now we've got the same story here, but in reverse. We've got a W formation, which you guys might understand as a inverted head and shoulders, okay? They're holding this zone, so we would assume that they're going to get ready to try and spike up again to attack the liquidity inside this area at 0.07. 007, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, old school. Let's bring it old school for a second. Let's just pull up XRP. How many of you are part of this XRP gang? You know, good old BitBoy Crypto, the XRP army. How many of you are in here? Say mad love, ladies and gentlemen. All right, cool. XRP pretty much showing the same flavor as Bitcoin, but let me tell you something about XRP from a trading perspective. When she moves, okay? When she does nothing, she genuinely does nothing. She sits tight and does absolutely nothing. Can be frustrating. But again, XRP, the only coin that I know that's got beef with the SEC, currently in the court case, and it's still holding out well, all right? So fair play to that. Now, look left. What have you got? You got wicks again. There seems to be a hunt for liquidity, ladies and gentlemen, in assets across the board. So that's what we want to be focusing on. All right. I'm just going to listen. What time is it? All right. It's 30 minutes. I'm just going to run through assets, ladies and gentlemen. Keep on blowing up the chat, and I'm just going to keep on looking at everything, and I'm just going to break everything down. I haven't done this in a very long time, so I'm just going to keep on breaking everything down for you. Okay. Hot token. What have we got here? Here we are. So we've got hot token, vector wick right there. Tells us what? Tells us that there is a profile of price being spiked up into this zone, holding above the 50 EMA, which is good news, which tells us that when things start to move up, as long as they continue, then assets above the 50 EMA will continue to move up above the 50 EMA. Use the 5 and 13 EMA on the 4-hour time frame to see the general trend momentum developing to the upside. Okay, take profits as and when. What else have we got? Let's have a look at cake for my stakers. Here we go. Cake. All right. What can you guess, ladies and gentlemen? There's an imbalance, huge imbalance, needs to come back to it. Now, that's at $3.88. We can see right now Cake's sat at that $3.60 zone, and you can see what they've done here. They've actually attacked these vector zones, but if you notice, volume starting to pick up in this area down at the lows to suggest that price is likely to continue higher. As long as they hold this area in Cake, we're all good to see higher prices. Look at the moving averages. They're compressing. They're getting tighter and tighter, suggesting that there is a buildup of orders inside this zone, and there has to be an end result for it. As long as everything, if they look, quite frankly, if they can get above the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, then we are in a bit of a promise to see price edge upwards and make its way up towards that $3.80 zone. Okay, so what I'd want you to do is go and take a Fibonacci for the nature of demonstration and take the midpoint of this whole candlestick. Okay, that's where you would ideally expect Cake to end up if they're going to recover the wick. Okay, if they continue from that point, happy days. But at minimum, you'd be aiming for this zone right here. HNT, let's have a look at HNT USDT. Helium. All right, then what's this on? No, I need Binance. Let me do that again. HNT USDT. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, no, let's just go with coin. Let's go with KuCoin. Okay, cool. Now, crossover on the 50 EMA. We've got these vector zones right here, which we need to be very cautious of, so do not ignore that. Look left, we've got vector candle points for recovery. So every time they hit a vector point, expect a retrace. Just look at this. Vector candles have been hit over here, okay, has led price to come back down. They're base building right now, getting ready to achieve what? The rise, the retrace, the continuation to the upside, okay? Next vector candle zone is what you're looking for. Look left, we've got a vector candle region right there. Although they've been recovered, it's a point that they're going to start working their way back towards because they can get the interest from traders to sell from that zone, okay? So keep an eye out on that zone right there. Let's have a look at CROU. CROU USDT for my guys at crypto.com, consolidating sideways. It's been a while. I usually want to stay away from coins like this that trade like this and only do some movements if the whole market moves aggressively. So you can see it's trading sideways, not really got much flavor right now, but I've got vector candles right here that I would expect them to try and take at some point when the market then does decide to start moving. So if we get some movement in the alts later on tonight, then happy days, we're going to start shifting out to the upside. Let me just pull out another coin right here, VET. All right, then VET. Choppy, but trending, okay? Look at it. Every time they come down to the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, there's a vector candle that presents itself. It recovers and then shifts away from it, okay? So the idea is that the profile for this coin is it's getting choppy, but it's trending. So that tells us that they're consolidating, buying up more as it comes down and getting ready to shift out even higher. Look left, you got a vector candle region right here, which suggests to me that as long as they sustain this move, they're going to keep on moving up. What's the parameter? And this is something that I always tell people. I always say, when you're in a trade, ask yourself the question, what reason do I have to get out of the trade other than making sure that I've got profits locked in? Yeah? If you're in a trade that's going against you, what's your criteria to say, look, I need to get out, or I need to try and reduce my exposure somewhere, like close 25, 30% of the position and then add to it if it goes in my favor, all right? Until you're given a reason, you're dealing with uncertainty, you just don't know. So if you can make sense of uncertainty by asking yourself the question, well, what reasons do I have to get out of this trade right now besides the loss? Because principally, when you go into a trade, you should already know what you're losing. So you know that before you enter the trade. You can't work it out when you're in a trade because then that tells me that you haven't got an idea about how much you could lose. You're focusing on how much you can make. And that's not what you want to do. Whatever you are given, you take it, start again. That's the principle. What else we got? CRV curve. Okay. CRV USDT. Let's have a look at that bad boy. All right, then, cool. Right, trading up 1.069, holding that 50 EMA with the promise of coming back up into this red vector candle zone. Remember, this is on the 4-hour time frame. So if they can sustain this area here, given that it is a little bit of an area of resistance because they've actually smacked this area a couple of times and not really broken down, but the commitment of these green vectors with volume rising at this point is suggesting to me that this red vector is a place where they've loaded up more longs at lower prices at the highest point in the range. Okay, SXP, let's have a look. SXP USDT. We've got that point right there. Here we go. So, yep, 50 EMA flat across the board right there. Not that much flavor coming into the chart just yet, but we've got vector candles up here that we need to be very careful of. In other words, if this asset breaks down, then we're probably going to start seeing the 30-cent zone if they come away from this this 4-hour 50 EMA. All right. Now, let me just go back into Bitcoin for a split second and have a look at where we're at right there. So Bitcoin might be looking like it's getting ready to climb up. Hold on. It's a 5-minute time frame. Yeah, it's trending. It's holding. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's holding out. That psychological high, again, seems to be a bit of a problem for us, ladies and gentlemen. They've fully recovered the vectors. Just going into this bad boy. Here we go. So we've got some orders being picked up right now. They still, look, they've cancelled those orders. No, they've still got that order there. 1,083 Bitcoin at 30,440. So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, what they're going to probably try and do is they're going to stabilize from now up until the open of Asia tonight. Okay? That's what you got to be careful of. All right? Just be mindful, man. I'm looking for that 31,000 zone right there. 31,300 with $4.75 billion worth of short liquidations. As long as they hold above the 4-hour, look at that, 4-hour 50 EMA. There's no reason to believe otherwise. First target would be that 30,800. All right? Cool. Rather than just going through that continuously. I hope that has served you in some way, shape, or form. We don't have any news announcements coming out tomorrow, which could rock the markets, but we do have it on Thursday. Okay? So, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today. Again, we'll be tuning in tomorrow for the New York live stream, so hit the subscribe, make sure you like the stream, and I will be checking in with you beautiful people all tomorrow. All right? Take care of yourselves, gang. Peace.